just a few days before the big one, considering your result midweek, what was or what's the plan?
Well, the result is probably disappointing, but sometimes it's not the be-all and end-all if the performance is of the right level. We are more concerned with certain things in the performance, and we have to get those right if we're going to go into a derby and be successful.
Coach, what does it do? Because the sentiment is always that it gives the team that won the midweek an advantage over confidence.
It's not my experience. That's not my experience at all. I've won big, going into a derby and lost it. The only derby that I've lost, we had a massive result just going into it, and yet I've been pretty miserable after the performance leading into many derbies. For example, the semi-final, when we beat Pirates in the semi-final, I was really critical of our performance the one before, but we won the semi-final. So my experience is that you don't gain momentum, and if you do, it's false momentum. The derby lives its own life, and how you perform on the day, how you deal with the nerves, how you deal with the social media, how you deal with this, that is usually what dictates the flow and ebb of the game.
Coach, I don't know if you're right by saying there's a particular pattern that you adopted in your win against Supersport, and before that it was
Chipper.
Yes. With the goal that was scored, the identical. What do you work on going into a game like this? You change the patterns in which you play. Because I picked it up. I don't know if your opponents would have picked it up. But you go into a big game thinking you need to change it.
I'm sure they did. I mean, you know, when I came to Chiefs this time round, one of the things that we spoke about was trying to return to a certain culture, trying to return to a certain identity, try to promote a style of play that both the supporters would like. Now, we've got to be sensible and say that the supporters like a winning style of play to start with. They like that. But while doing that, I think everybody knows, and Mandler said on the stage, you know, our transition play can be poisonous. You know, it can be lethal. What I wanted to work on was more when we don't have the space. What happens then? Can we pick our way through the opponent's team? Can we stretch them out? Can we? And what was satisfying with a couple of those goals was that they started with the goalkeeper and we picked our way through. So I don't want to be a team that's dependent on transitions. I want that to be a part of our armoury, but I want to be able to pick our way through. So I think one of the things that wasn't to my liking the Stellenbosch game was that first 15 minutes we set up properly, we picked our way through, but we stopped. And Steve, with playing a low block, he cut down spaces, and we didn't pick our way through until late in the game when we threatened to get through again, but we didn't take our chances. So, yes, people are going to say, well, be careful of their transitions, but I want to be able to shift, take advantage of the transitions, but also pick our way through if someone plays with a low block.
That I used to watch. How much of what happened in the national team has actually caused a little bit of damage in his mind, you know, having been
This is a derby. You're asking me if it's a must-win. Yeah. Look, this derbies are must-wins all the time. You don't go into a derby thinking a draw would be okay. You know, so given after every defeat, Sir Alex Ferguson used to say to the Manchester United players, "You never lose twice." We never lose twice. Even if that's easy for him to say with Beckham and Giggs and people like that, and Cantona, I guess the sentiment is every team, you know, Pirates, the same as us. If you lose a game, then the next one you want to win it. So in that respect, it's must win for the supporters, must win for our credibility. But you know, we're nowhere near the sharp end of the stick yet. But yeah, I get your question. It is, yeah. I miss the fans massively. And I think even though, when I look at some of the foreign games, even though friends of mine, colleagues of mine are getting abuse from the supporters, I'd still prefer to have that abuse than not have fans in the stadium. And that's the truth. So I miss the atmosphere. I miss that. I said up there, the knife at the throat. You miss the pulse. You miss the vibe, and I certainly would like to think our supporters are going to sometime soon get back into stadiums so we can have that extra push. Now it's our job as professional athletes to produce a product that is worth selling. So that's our job, and I think you guys the same. You do the best you can, but it's a lot easier when we've got supporters in there and there's that extra buzz, you know. So we feel the same way. So whenever it's safe to get them back in, get them back in.
Coach, what happened with you?
Well, I'm a little bit of a training freak, so I was training and I had a stress fracture, which I didn't really stop training because of, but it became so that I couldn't continue. So I went and had a scan, and the scan said, well, your stress fracture is getting better, but you've torn the tendon off your ankle. So the other day before the game, when I was at the hotel, going to get on the bus, the ankle rolled, and I think it's ripped it completely off. So I'll have to have an operation soon, but that'll have to wait. I don't have time at the moment.